Alex Behunin with LowKickMMA. I'm here with Miles Johns, who returns to action on November 19th. Miles, how are you?
Doing well. Doing well. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm happy to be talking with you. Dude, you're 10 days out. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great, man. I've been training hard. I was already really hoping a fight would come around the corner like this. So now that I finally got one, I got a date, I got a face. I'm feeling really good. I'm just ready to get back in there and do my thing.
Awesome, awesome. Before we get to that fight, I have a very important question for you. Who gave you the nickname Chapo?
It was actually my grandfather a long time ago. When I was a young kid, believe it or not, I've always been short my whole life, and Chapo means shorty. So they started calling me Chapo when I was younger, and then it just stuck.
Awesome, awesome. Thanks for sharing that. 9 months since your loss to John Castaneda, man. What'd you learn from that fight?
I learned a lot from that fight. I learned how to deal with adversity in there, what it feels like when maybe you get because I've been clipped before. My first loss was Bautista, but it was kind of like a flash, like the flying knee flash, and the ref stopped it super quick. This time I was clipped a couple times before then, and I had to deal with that while I was in there. So just having that experience is one thing, but then also I just felt like I fell so in love with my hands, so in love with knocking people out after the two knockouts previously. When I got hurt, I wasn't thinking about like wrestling him, slowing the fight down, or anything like that. All I was thinking is like, oh, he hurt me. Now I'm gonna take his head off. And when you get in there with guys like Castaneda, who's been around with as many fights as he's had, then that's not gonna work. You know what I mean? He's not gonna let himself come into the danger zone after he knows he has me hurt. So yeah, there was a big learning curve, and then there was some other things outside of the cage, like through camp and just mental things that I had to learn and adjust. And yeah, I'm never happy to lose, but I was grateful for that experience because I feel like a completely different fighter now.
What were the emotions like after that fight, man? Like you would come on, you would knock your last two opponents out, two performance of the night bonuses, man, and you were like on this high, and then you lose. Like what were the emotions like?
There's a mix of emotions, but I think to sum it up, it was just like a very humbling experience. You can't disrespect this game in any way, shape, or form. You know what I mean? And you can be on those highs, and I was feeling great. I honestly felt like I could not, like I was gonna knock Castaneda out, and I was just gonna keep knocking people out. You know what I mean? So then to have a fight like that, and yeah, I would say it's just humbling. You got to sit back and you realize how tough this game is. You realize how tough everybody else is, and you make changes. You can't get ahead of yourself. So it was a lot, but that'd probably sum it up.
Gotcha. A big storyline coming into this fight is you left Fortis, now at Glory MMA. I heard that you left mainly because of family.
Well, I mean, that had a big part of it.
Okay.
I wanted to be closer to my family here in Kansas and everything, but at the same time, the most important thing in my life, it remains the most important thing right now, and that is fighting. Obviously, my family is important, but I only have this one time that I'm doing my career. You know what I mean? And I also felt like it was a move that I had to make for myself. As a fighter. Um, it was just something that I needed to do, and I have nothing but respect for all the guys at Fortis, all my old teammates. I mean, those guys are dogs there, and they're gonna be my brothers and sisters for life. And I know that a lot. I know that a lot of them are gonna make a run. They could have a belt within the next few years, and I have nothing but respect for Coach Safe. But just for me personally, I'd been there for 10 years, and I've learned a lot of that system, and I just felt like I needed something different, a change in what I was doing. And I still have Coach Safe in my ear while I'm training, even when he's not there. I remember everything that I've learned from there, and I take it with me into this next stage of my career. But yeah, I definitely felt like that I needed a change as a fighter, so I had to make that tough change. It was not easy, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, that's kind of want you to kind of expand on, man. Like, tell me how hard it was to leave Coach Safe, because I know you've been with him for a long, long, long time. I mean, for me personally, like, I hate change. I hate leaving. Like, just leaving websites that I write for. Like, it's so hard for me. So I can't imagine leaving a fight camp that you've been with for a long, long time. And I know how close you were with Safe.
Yeah, Safe was like a father figure to me, and so that was the first part of it that's challenging is you get to upset people, and I've built to not even just him, but I've also built a network of people there that I had to make fighting easy. Not to say easy, but to make it easier. Like I had a physical therapist there that I was really tight with, my strength conditioning coach. I'm really tight with, like all these people that are in my corner, and so to leave them is a tough thing, and yeah, so that's the first part. And then the second part of it is, I guess, just the whole change, like how, like, you are gonna have to start over, you are gonna have to change, aside from, like, okay, yeah, we're gonna have to hurt some people, not say hurt their feelings, but you're gonna upset some people, and then you got to make the huge change and do that. And I just really had to sit alone, kind of in silence, and figure out what I truly wanted, what I saw for myself in the future. And once I figured it out, and once I kind of made my mind up, then I was willing to do all hard things to make it happen. But it was a difficult decision emotionally, and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Did your brother go with you?
No, he didn't. He's still there right now. I don't know what his plans for the future are going to be. I love having him close, but he's also safe being the man that he is. He's taking great care of him down there. And so EJ, I felt like this whole thing has even been a little beneficial to him, as because EJ's kind of moved up in the ranks at Fortis. He seems like he's doing a lot more, and he's on like that professional, super high level path. And I know that there's a ton of room for growth for him there on that path. So he's still there. He's going to be in my corner for this fight. And obviously we still talk all the time and stuff. But right now, yeah, he's still training up there or down there.
When the hell is he going to be in the UFC, bro? Like, I feel like, come on, no.
I know he's getting there. He's 2 years younger than me, but I would say so. He's 26, but I'd say he's a young 26. He always matured a little bit later, so he's still, his body still has a ton of time, his mind still has a ton of time. I think Contender Series this next summer, and then he'll be in there.
How has it been living back in Kansas other than Texas? I know you've been living. I mean, you've been living in Texas for a minute now. How's it been living back home?
It's been good. We spent the summer before we moved into our house here in Kansas City. We spent the summer closer to my in-laws out at the ranch and stuff in the country with the cows and the horses and chickens, all that. They got tons of land out there and stuff. So that was a really fun experience, being away from the city and just being out there for a while. And now that we're settled into our house, it's good, man. It's really good. We are much closer to them, so that's nice for the kids and for the wife and the in-laws and everything like that. And yeah, I'm just happy to be back closer to what I'm used to. Like I said, I think this is phase two of my career. I am still young in the game. I've been through a lot. I've fought for the belt against Adrian Yanez in LFA, fought on the Contender Series, had a bad injury during that, and got the win. And then my whole 5 fights in the UFC, I felt like I've had a lot packed in the past couple of years. And then even the suspension added into that, the mental aspect of that, that was all packed in there. I felt like I had to step away for a second, figure out who I am as a fighter, go back to some of those roots and kind of start over. And I'm ready to really string some wins together now, and get ready to make my run for the belt here in about a year and a half.
I wasn't really going to ask about the suspension, because I didn't feel like it really like brought anything to it. But like you said, it messed with you mentally. How did it mess with you mentally?
Just because I'm not that type of person. I'm, for one, I'm not a cheater in any way, and I'm not that type of person to really even be in trouble like that. Like I always paid attention in school and did what I was supposed to do around the house. So it did, and it also just made me I don't know, just made me make some changes with that as well. Like I did have a prescription. I had diagnosis for ADHD, and I had a prescription. I should have done the TUE, But generally, I just try to stay off of it, like close to the fight, because it takes away some of your emotional ups and downs that I like to deal with, and I guess that it just stayed in my system a little bit longer than it had in the past. And I was like thinking about it before would have been like my worst nightmare, like I never would have wanted that to happen. And then once it happens, it becomes a reality. You just deal with it. It's not going to be easy, but you deal with it, you do what you got to do. And yeah, that's it. And I mean, I set it all up to where I could have a TUE like in the future. They're like, let's just fix this so we have a TUE for it in the future. But I completely got rid of it in my life too. I felt like it was time for that. I didn't. There was a lot of negative aspects to it for me. I think that there's a lot of people out there who do need it and use it, but for me personally, I felt like it was something that I needed to get rid of, and so that was a tough thing too. You know, but yeah, I'm off that and doing good, and yeah, so that pretty much sums that up, I'd say.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that, man.
Yeah,
All right, Vince Morales. It's a very fun fight on paper. How do you like the matchup?
I love the matchup. And I think that fans should probably love the matchup too, because I think it's going to be a really fun, exciting fight. I like his style. It's kind of similar to my style. He's a wrestler that turned into like a boxer kind of. He's pretty boxing heavy, but I do feel like I'm better than him in a lot of areas, and I think it's just going to be a fun barn burner. I don't see it going the distance. I'll say that.
I mean, I don't. I think a lot of people don't see it going the distance. Like you said, man, you guys are both wrestlers. You both have fallen in love with your hands. Like, are we gonna see? I mean, like, do you kind of see it like your guys' wrestling kind of canceling out, and you guys are gonna be boxing, or do you think we are gonna see like a MMA fight?
Well, I guess we'll just address that when we get in there. But um, I think you'll probably see a mix of different things. You know what I mean? Like as a fighter, I've been evolving and not like trying not to just fall in love with knocking people out. Although that I do love doing that. But also I think that if once he feels my power, I think that he might even be looking for some wrestling as well. So I think that it could see a mix of the arts, or it could just be where we're mainly on our feet, swinging it out. So we'll see what happens.
Awesome, man. Well, at the end of the day, November 19th, how do you get your hand raised?
I finish. I got multiple ways in my head that I'm going to get to finish, but I'm looking for a finish for sure.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Last couple of things for me. Didn't start your year on a win, but you're hoping to end it on a win, man. Like, what do you want your next year to look like? Or are you not even looking past that? Like looking past this fight?
I am. I'm not like in the moment. Once you get a name and you get a date, I'm not looking past Vince. Like Vince is my prime focus right now, but I am planning my career out, because like this is like the second stage of my career. You can't plan out too much, because you never know what's gonna happen under those lights in the cage. You know what I mean? But I was happy for the short notice fight. I felt like it was a good thing for me to get my name back in there after everything and being gone for a little bit. Like taking a fight on short notice will draw some attention. You know what I mean? So I'm looking forward to going out there and having a great performance on November 19th. And then after that, I wanna start stringing some wins together, and start moving up these ranks. I'm looking at the top 15 and these guys even in the top 5, and like, yeah, they're good, but I mean, I know I can fight with these guys. Like I know that I should be at that level. I mean, you can see Yanez, like it wasn't that long ago we had our fight, and some of these guys are climbing. So I'm ready for my time now. I feel like I'm ready. I've been through the trials and tribulations, and I know just in my heart that I'm hard and I'm solid now, and I'm ready to freaking make my run. So after this one, I hope to stay just relevant and start stringing some wins together and be in that top 15 within the next year and a half.
After every single Adrian Yanez win, I've asked him, "Do you want that Miles Johns rematch? Do you want that Miles Johns?" He wants it. Is that a fight that you see yourself rematching soon?
Yeah, I could see that happening. Right now in his position, I don't know if it makes sense for him to fight me. I mean, if he would, that'd be awesome. You know, But it's all love there, man. Like when I see him doing his thing, like I'm happy for him. You know what I mean? There's no hate there. I always saw it as something that'd be, and because we're cool, you know, I see him outside the cage and stuff. It's like, what's up, man? You know, it's all love. So I always felt like it'd be something like a Jorge Nate Diaz type of style. You know what I mean? Like we're both coming up, we're both got beating people up, and it's like, hey, you know, I know you're about it. You know, I'm about it. Let's run this back. I'll give you opportunity to get that dub back, even though I don't think it happened.
And it's perfect. Like, say he beats you, then it's a big trilogy, and then you can really sell it. But whatever.
There we go. We won't think about that, but yep, that's offer. That
Exactly. Awesome. And then finally for me, who are some of your new main train partners?
There's a lot of guys there. I've been working with Brandon Moreno whenever he's there, Pitbull Rojo. Been working with David Onama. Isaac Dogarian is a big one. He's gonna be making his debut in January, I think. I mean, kid's a freaking stud. I'm really looking forward to watching him make his debut. I used to watch him in high school. Me and my dad when we were wrestling, like from when I was a young kid. He'd be like, "Watch this kid. Watch out! Like watch how he wrestles, his swagger, all this stuff." So I mean, he's been dominating for as long as I've known. And yeah, there's I probably could be forgetting some guys, you know, bit new to it, but there's a lot of good guys there. And that was another process too, like just getting their trust and respect, you know, because it is different when somebody from a big gym moves to another big gym, you know, and like I've known some of my teammates have been lined up to fight a lot of those guys, you know, and obviously they know that as well. So it takes a little bit to like gain their trust and respect, but it's been coming. So I'm really happy to be doing that. Once they found out that I did buy a house here and that I am just both feet in, I'm like, yeah, bro, like this is where I'm at now. You know, then a lot of the guards go down, and it's just work and love. You know.
Awesome. Awesome. Miles, thank you so much for your time, man. I really appreciate it. If you want to plug your social media, plugging sponsors you have, and if you want to thank anybody, the floor is yours.
Yeah, you guys can reach me at Miles Chapo Johns. Thank you to Drink Hydrate, the magnesium water or the hydrogen water. You know, I use that all the time. And other than that, I got nothing. I mean, I'm looking for ice baths. So if anybody out there listening got some plug for that, let me know.
Make sure to subscribe to the LowKick MMA YouTube channel for all the latest news, event previews, and interviews with some of the biggest stars in MMA.